We are going into business for ourselves. You are all looking at the new owner of Blockbuster Video.
Number 10. Drove Britney Spears to the edge.
We interrupt this debate for an emergency news bulletin. It's Britney Watch, keeping you up to date with all your Britney Spears news. Oh boy, what's she done now?
Most people will agree that the paparazzi have gone too far for the sake of getting the great shot.
Excuse us, we're trying to get a picture of Britney Spears.
Join the club.
During her peak, Britney Spears seemed to be inundated with attention from every form of press across the globe. It's therefore no surprise that South Park took a shot in a similar direction, but with a twist. The boys see how terrible the adults are treating her and do their best to keep her safe. This ultimately falls short as she succumbs to the needs of the town for their next harvest.
All right, folks, let's finish this quickly.
It's all for the sake of comedy, but the townsfolk could have certainly made a better choice about how to harvest their crops. Number 9. Buying a Blockbuster. How do we count the ways in which Randy Marsh has made terrible decisions on this show? Since this isn't our first entry that will feature Stan's dad, let's talk about his worst business decision.
We are going into business for ourselves. You are all looking at the new owner of Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster Video?
In an era where streaming is king and the movie rental businesses have all but dried up, somehow Randy thinks buying a Blockbuster video store is a good idea.
Many rural areas don't have the bandwidth to support DVD quality video and streaming services and won't for years to come, making DVD rentals still the best movie watching option.
Sure, many rural areas still have limited internet access for downloading movies. But when was the last time anyone you know rented a DVD or VHS tape from anywhere?
Hey, you kids looking to rent some DVDs?
Maybe Kenny's family might partake, but even they've had their whole neighborhood renovated. Number 8. Hiring actors to scare kids from drugs. As a parent, there are plenty of difficult conversations you need to have with your kids. The use of illicit drugs surely ranks near the top of that list.
No way, it's me from the past.
I'm me from the past?
No, I'm you from the future. Oh man, this is so messed up.
For the adults in town, instead of having a frank discussion about this risque topic, they try to use fear. Using services from Motivation Corp, they hire actors to portray their kids as grown-ups who have ruined their lives due to excessive substance use.
Future Butters, it's time to take your liver medicine.
Liver medicine? Yeah, my future self has a bad kidney from all the drinking he did in high school. I need to learn to behave myself.
Of course, the plan backfires in a spectacular fashion, forcing them to just talk to their kids. They could have avoided a lot of hassle and deceit had they just been honest in the first place.
There's only one person I can blame. Motivation Corp.
Number 7. Randy unleashing COVID-19.
Does it matter what started coronavirus? Who cares what started coronavirus? You guys are being racist.
Oh, Randy, will you ever learn? South Park may be a fictitious town, but they too are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, one major distinction between the real world and theirs is the origin of the disease.
Yes, we've been able to trace the virus and confirm that it did in fact come from a seedy part of China.
Ah, told ya.
And in fact, we've pinpointed the virus to a certain bat in Wuhan.
A bat in Wuhan?
We learn here that after Randy and Mickey Mouse partied a bit too hard in China, they engaged in highly inappropriate behavior that may have led to the outbreak of the virus. It's further proof that Randy tends to make rash decisions without any realization of the possible consequences. He is struck with a sense of massive guilt, but that certainly does not undo the damage he and Mickey may have caused.
Jimbo's never been able to grow a mustache.
Huh, that's weird.
Number 6. Ignoring ManBearPig. On a list about dumb decisions, we'd be remiss to not include the entire ManBearPig fiasco.
ManBearPig?
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig.
After Al Gore warned everyone in the town that MVP was a real threat, everyone chose to ignore him. thinking he was crazy. Yet, even when ManBearPig returns years later and begins slaughtering people in town, there are still those who insist he's not real and prefer to be oblivious to his attacks.
There's definitely evidence that all the death and destruction around us is due to a ManBearPig.
But no exact correlation to a ManBearPig.
Definitely not, and that's why we're all here to try to pinpoint when should I start to worry.
A clear allegory to climate change, we will give credit to the writers for backpedaling a bit on their original stance and having the kids at least realize how serious the situation is.
We're sorry for making fun of you.
That didn't sound serial at all.
Sadly, the town's naivety about the seriousness of MBP's presence mirrors the views of many people in the world today. Number 5. Forcing conversion therapy. After having been conned by Cartman into taking a compromising photograph, Butter's parents send him to a conversion camp for being bi-curious.
Is that true, son? Are you feeling confused?
Yeah, I'm pretty confused, all right.
You see?
The episode uses the term confused to not only describe the parents' opinion of Butter's sexuality, but his literal confusion of not understanding why he's at camp.
This is what makes you confused! Don't you get it? This is confusing you right now, isn't it?
Yes, it's all very confusing.
We are given a window into a world of complete intolerance and ignorance to sexual orientation and identity, all at the hands of parents who choose to ignore what their children are saying. Butters has it right when he tells them that they are indeed the ones who are confused.
You know what I think? I think maybe you're the ones who are confused.
Yeah.
Number 4. Killing Jesus. Easter is known for 2 things: the resurrection of Jesus and a bunny who loves eggs.
You don't see the missteps in logic with that? Look, I'm just saying that somewhere between Jesus dying on the cross and a giant bunny hiding eggs, there seems to be a gap of information.
Fantastic Easter Special does a hilarious job of trying to marry these 2 concepts together.
In actuality, Peter wasn't a man at all. Saint Peter was a rabbit.
Peter Rabbit.
And as funny as the outcome is, we're presented with one of the most dumbfounding decisions ever.
Kill him. What?
Given the nature of the holiday being the rebirth of the Christian Savior, it makes very little sense for Bill Donahue's character to insist they murder Jesus to protect the church. Heck, even the Pope disagrees with this, but both him and Jesus are punished for the acts against the Catholic Church. Number 3. Giving themselves cancer. Okay, so given how laws have changed around legal marijuana use, this one is a bit dated, but it still shows a complete lack of judgment.
Well, so doctor, how do most people get cancer?
Well, there's a lot of ways you can get cancer.
Yeah, but what's the quickest way?
The what?
At a time when you needed a prescription to obtain the drug from a dispensary, Randy, along with many other men in the town, went to extreme lengths to contract cancer, just for the sake of being able to legally get high.
Just gonna get a little bit of cancer, Stan.
It shouldn't need to be said, but purposely giving yourself cancer is never a good idea, regardless of how much weed you want to smoke. The entire hippity-hop sequence is certainly hilarious to watch, but definitely not something you'd want to have happen to your body on purpose.
Well, I gotta admit, it's a lot easier to get inside doors with my little prosthetic balls.
Number 2. Blaming Canada for kids' foul language. One thing South Park has shown us repeatedly is how terrible the parents in this town really are. Time and time again, they choose to ignore what their children are saying and head off on some crusade, all in the name of saving their kids. The South Park movie took this to the nth degree, with Kyle's mom Sheila starting a war with Canada over the use of foul language.
With all the hockey hullabaloo and that bitch Anne Murray too.
She spends the entire movie blaming Canada for corrupting the country's children, while never once taking a moment to consider the magnitude of her actions.
So guys, does it make you nervous to be in America? There are a lot of organizations here that want you arrested for destroying children.
Oh, they'd have to find us first.
You're right. Now!
Terrence and Philip, Mothers Against Canada is placing you under citizen's arrest.
Like a horse with blinders on, she's on a mission and doesn't care who gets in the way, even her own kids.
I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you, Kyle.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Not reading the fine print. You never know what might be hiding in that long agreement we never read.
I'm not going with you.
You've agreed to all of this! Hey!
Sending their children away. At what point did the parents think their children were better off without them?
But why do I have to leave?
The news says that at your age you aren't safe with us, son. You have to get out of here before we abduct you.
Abandoning kids to protest. This was the first sign of Sheila's overbearing attitude.
We are spreading the word to this establishment that we demand better television.
Number 1. Keeping Cartman as a friend. We've discussed a lot of terrible choices the town has made, but by far and large, this one seems to be even more ridiculous.
God damn you.
As funny and entertaining as he can be, there's no logical reason why anyone in this town should be this tolerant of Eric Cartman.
Our opinion of you can't possibly go any lower.
Just his anti-Semitic and racist attitude alone should be enough for most people to avoid him like the plague. The list of terrible and selfish things this kid has done is a mile long. Yet, despite all of that, he still maintains strong friendships with many of his classmates. At some point, you'd think they'd had enough and just walked away. But here we are, 26 seasons in, and Cartman is still going strong.
I love you guys. Yeah, screw you guys.
In your opinion, what's the stupidest thing the South Park gang has ever done? Let us know in the comments.
Butters, get your coat. We gotta go.
Go where?
You're gonna help me freeze myself.
Okay.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.